This up again. How you guys doing? I just went live and messed it up. I don't know if you guys saw that. Don't tell anybody. You're live in studio here for Ultrajoyed, a weekly chat, local podcast type of show. I don't even know what to call it, but it's a weekly live chat with local people who are doing things in the community. We do the podcast every week, and we can't even reach the amount of people we want to because, you know, there's only 4 seats in here, and I have co-hosts. Oh, Kaleb said he didn't see nothing. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Caleb's actually going to be on the program a little bit later. But we have a ton in store for you today. This is going to be a fun chat, man. This has never happened before in this way. I've had guests like on the phone, but I'm going to pan over. I actually have a guest in studio right now with me. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to a buddy of mine, Seth Gerbs. Say hi.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, yeah. So Seth Gerbs is hanging out with me in studio. We're going to chat with Seth in just a little bit. I'm going to bring him back in here. But first, we're going to go through and we're going to talk about a couple topics from this last week. So if you're going to enjoy this show, share it to all your friends. Let them know that you're hanging out with me and Seth here. And I got a couple other sneaky guests coming your way. So hang out with me here. All right. So it's been a wild week, people. Let me just say that we've had so much going on. I'm gonna turn myself up a little bit here. I don't even know if I'm loud enough. Let me know in the chat. I see Kaleb. I see Jordan Bell. How you guys doing? Appreciate you guys hanging out here. If you guys would do me a favor and share it around to everybody you know, because that's how we get people to do this. Well, that's an accident. I can't have that song play because that's like an actual song. How did that happen? How did I mess that up? Can you guys believe that? All right, let's put this one on. There we go. Ooh, there we go. We got the lady singing in the back. What's up, Seth? That's what Jordan said. Jordan said, what's up? We're going to bring him back in a minute here, but I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about what we had going on this past weekend and recap that for everybody in the chat and everybody hanging out. I don't know if you guys saw, but we did have an insane show this weekend. Let me pull this up. Ooh, there it is. Let me see. You can see I did not have that set up properly. I'm going to go back here. Actually, you know what? F it. We're going to figure it out. I think it's down here. That's the room cam if you guys want to see that. Let me fix this real quick. Where is my... not EOS. Scroll, image, color source. Well, where the hell is it? Let's go here. There we go. Figured it out. You guys see that now? Gosh. Oh, it's locked. That makes more sense now. I always have to figure this out. You guys are hanging out in chat. Yeah, we did have several insane shows today. If you guys weren't there this weekend, you don't know. This was our show at Harvest Fest. If you guys didn't make it out to Harvest Fest, we had a ton of comedians hanging out with us, including myself, myself, Brian Allen West, Davey Moomaw, Michael Howard, Alexa Eden. We had Sean D, Pierce Clott. We actually had a last-minute scratch, believe it or not. A guy named Brandon Stetler ended up stepping in for Greg, who got sick. And then we had Jacob Harder, and then our headliner was Dan West. So if you guys came out and enjoyed that, let me know in the chat below. I see Caleb's talking about it. He was there that night. But we also had an insane show at Gas City, and that featured my homie Hypocrisy Jones, Devon Shoemaker. Sean D was on that show, Brian Allen West. We had feature Jeffrey McKinley and Dan Alton was there as well. It was a fun time. We love doing things like this. So if you enjoy coming out and seeing live comedy, luckily, we do have you covered. You can come out, believe it or not, you can come out every single Thursday. Come out to Cooper's Pub, and you can see live comedy here And it's over here. It's every Thursday, and we start the show. The party starts at 7 p.m., and then we hang out for a little bit, and then at 8 p.m., the comics start. And so come on out, check us out. We have a great time. Don't worry about being funny. Worry about having fun. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Don't worry about being funny. Worry about having fun. If you're on here right now, make sure you comment below. Let us know that you're here. We want to hear from you. Let us know what you guys have going on. I want to know if you have something going on this week that you're excited about. Tell me about it in the comments below, because we're going to talk about a few things. For real, we are. First things first, we had 2 amazing shows this week, like I said. If you guys came out to those, I hope you had a great time. We had a ton of comics out. I don't know if you guys saw this, but we had... This photo is the photo of all the comics at Harvest Fest, other than Davey Moomaw. This is all of them. Brandon's in the middle there. He's the one that wasn't on there. Sleeping in the House, Sleepless Images. You guys check out here in the house, Sleepless Images. I'm going to have photos from Sleepless Images actually coming up soon, hopefully by tomorrow from our festival. Been going through looking at them. He did a great job with these photos. I cannot wait till you see them. I can actually show you one photo right now. Check this one out. That's Dan Alton. He was the headliner of the comedy show there at Harvest Fest and at Gas City, actually. And this is a photo from Sleepless Images. So go check him out. Give him a like, a share, a follow, because we appreciate him and everything he did at Harvest Fest. And the photos it was so funny because my fiance was like, I haven't seen the photographer all night. And I said, that dude's a fucking ninja, dude. He's a ninja, dude. He's out here and he's taking pictures. You don't even know about it. And yeah, I'm ready for you to be back this weekend too, Belle. I can't wait. Need to get back. What's up, Sean D? We've got some funny people in the comments here. I'm excited because we've got so much to talk about. Thank you, Allison. I think I saw you out there too. We had a great group of people. But first, let me go ahead and I'm gonna switch it over. We're gonna have a conversation with my friend here, Seth. All right. So, Seth, thank you for hanging out with us in the studio, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. We had a little beef this week, didn't we?
So, I wouldn't. So it's more. I want to apologize. Am I
don't worry about apologizing.
Well, here's the thing, and I want to say this publicly as well, like, because everyone wrestles with things in their heads. You know? And I think a lesson that I've needed to learn many times over is to just talk. I mean, it's easy to convince yourself that nobody likes you, or one comment someone said, or a comment someone said there, means you're not welcome. And like you said earlier, you often don't see what people say in rooms when you're not there. Yeah,
and I mean, that goes positive or negative, but I can 100% tell you from my perspective, anytime anybody brings up like the service you provide. So let's go to that. You like are the main guy for second shift heating and air. You are the granddaddy. I see you post all the time. And so we had a communication back and forth for a while. Like you and I had talked and about a few things. And then this last fall, my shit went out.
I remember that day.
Or last summer, my shit went out. And I remember messaging you and being like, hey, man, can you come out and check it? And you did. And actually, I posted this on the Kokomo Press. It says, shout out to Seth Gerbs of Shift Heating and Air here in Kokomo for fixing my AC same day. It's been running nonstop since, and my family definitely needed this cool air and this heat wave. Check him out for all your heating and air needs. Friendly, knowledgeable, and affordable. For real. Like, you came out and I swear you're like, oh, that's just a compressor. You went in and you you pushed a bunch of knobs. Did whatever men do with those little hard, metal things that turn things. You know what I mean?
It was a capacitor.
I fucked it up already.
Best part that could have been wrong with it.
Yeah.
Cheapest thing possible.
And you're like, oh, I actually have one in the van. So you went out there and grabbed it up and you fixed it. And honestly, I appreciated it so much. And then I remember during we had a holiday special. We were looking for local businesses and people that do things like, hey, does anybody want to send in? It's a free commercial for our holiday special. And you send a beautiful commercial in. You're like, call it for the holidays. Call someone who gives a shift. I like that, man. It's a fun
words.
Yeah. So I always appreciate everything that you've done for us. And then, I mean, we've been talking for a while to get you on the podcast because our board, everything if you guys are hearing us right now, if you're listening and you hear this, the audio, a lot of the reason why we even have audio right now the way we do, it's because of this man right here. So let me go ahead and throw. There you go. No, round of applause. We're going to give a round of applause. That came from the chat, not from me.
Hey.
But we appreciate everything you've done to help us, man. I wish we could have got you in here sooner, man. I've been trying to figure out a strategy to get people we do one podcast a week, and it's hard to get people in and out. And I'm not the one that books it. We got multiple bookers, so I'm just so happy that we finally got you in studio.
I like watching you guys do the thing.
Hell yeah!
It's been a smile dream of mine to kind of do this too.
Yeah,
and there's no way I could. This is amazing how much you've got set up in here,
dude. I appreciate that.
So I kind of live vicariously through people, and you're local. You know what I mean?
Caleb sent some clapping emojis in the chat for you. Jordan doesn't know because he's non-binary. How dare you? How dare you, Jordan Bell? He's coming at me right now. We're still kind of in a beef as well, me and Jordan Bell. I'm just kidding. That was all work, people. People were like, "Are you guys fighting?" And I was like, "No, we were joking. Me and Bell, like we were just kidding."
I thought it was a good little. I didn't know what was going on behind it, but I'm like, they're probably not beefing.
Yeah,
there's no way.
So here's what actually happened. I'll go ahead, and if you're watching Ultrajoyed right now, you're gonna get the scoop. Bell got moved to second shift. Not heating and air, but he got moved to actual second shift at his work. So I figured, we'll play on words there. But he got moved to second shift and couldn't come to the mic anymore. So we were like, how do we do a joke where let's suspend him for drama, and then we did a bunch of videos and goofy shit. And then before the end of it, he and I were like, man, we just don't want to do this. This sucks. Let's just not do this anymore. I
was wondering for the longest, because I saw that. I'm like, did something happen? That just doesn't make any sense.
Well, we tried to I put out 2 official statements, remove me as editor-in-chief. We did a bunch of goofy shit, just trying to basically doing a wrestling work, you know what I mean? Goofy. And we had a plan to we were supposed to all get matching Kokomo press tattoos. I know it's hard for people to see right now, but I have a Kokomo press tattoo. Me and Courtney went and got them. And then Brian and Jordan weren't able to make it that day. So they're supposed to go sometime this week or next week. So right now we're waiting. Yeah, Bell said it became too real and I had too many folks in the inbox. It became a negative, when something weighs you down negative. I mean, we kind of dealt with that lately. Yeah. The same thing happened, but we knew it was fake. You know what I mean? So that's how we both know exactly what you're talking about, and how things can happen in life that make you feel a certain way. And sometimes, you're like, I don't know how to deal with it. So you go to social media, or you go to somebody outside of it. And I'm just so happy that you and I were finally able to actually, I remember we ended up on the phone after, we were just talking. Yeah. And once we talked, I felt way more relaxed, because I was like, hey, this is my buddy. We're friends. You've come out to the mic and done the mic with us, the comedy mic and stuff.
Somewhat and poorly at best, but
no. The crazy thing is, before we even ever had the mic, you sent me a set that you did at Crackers. I think it was at Crackers. And I have told people over and over again that it's a really good set. I think if you took that set and you just kept working on it, adding a little bit, taking away, and just made that your set for a while and worked, because that's what we do. We work on kind of the same thing. We might throw a couple of new things in there from time to time, but I think if you worked on that, that would be a good set to do.
It was unfortunately a true story. There was no, it was not a joke at the time. It was pretty rough.
What was it about?
Oh, I was doing a boiler change out. This guy answered the door in his underwear. And there's Barbie dolls everywhere with their heads cut off.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's a 55-year-old guy with long dreads. And
hell yeah.
Buffalo Bill look.
Oh yeah.
And he starts it was the perfect time for him to do squats and exercise. As I'm kneeling down next to this boiler, it was the most intense.
He was hey, can you look at my AC unit? It's in the well in my basement. And you're like, oh no, it puts the lotion on the skin.
There was a legit period I thought, I'm probably going to die here.
I'm probably going to end up kicking the bucket because of this guy. And then he's going to bring the bucket down with lotion in it.
Well, and I never thought, other than maybe jail, that I'd have to see an adult man shitting.
Oh, dude, he had shit in the door open?
That's how I know that he was shitting. He didn't shut the door, and he looked at me he's just looking over, glaring at me. It was the most uncomfortable.
He was like, I don't want anybody in my house without being supervised, and then literally had to take a shit at the same time. Yeah, Seth was at the very first mic. That's true. When we did it down in the basement, you were there, and you brought some people there. That went really well. I remember you doing that set. That was good.
That's all right.
Honestly, that's the thing about doing mics, man. We do it every week. I've only missed one since we started doing it. You know what I mean? And when we first started doing it, it was crazy, because I'm having to write new material, because we had really just been doing showcases and stuff. I hadn't done a regular mic, and it took a while for me to finally figure out how to get in a rhythm where I think like a comic all the time now. Because at first, I mean, I've been doing comedy for 6 years, but not the way that we do it now.
Yeah, I don't know how you're able to do it, because it's more for me, it's just a bucket list thing. Like skydiving and talking on stage, they're like super intense, and you're just naturally to you. You're just like, oh, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I've been doing stage stuff my whole life, whether it's been plays or bands or music or, you know, talent shows. I'm very comfortable. Like I used to get like super, like I was just joking with Brian, and you know, Brian West. I was just joking with Brian West. Like the last 2 shows we did, I didn't have butterflies going on stage, which is weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel safer jumping out of a fucking plane. Am I allowed to cuss on here? Can I cuss?
Yeah, cuss.
Okay. So that I feel safer in, because I can control all the variables.
Yeah. Getting
up on stage and like, these people might not think I'm funny. That's more. It's more intense.
It is scarier. It is scarier. It took me a minute to get used to it, and I mean, every person I know that's ever done it at first, it's rough. You end up in the beginning, you like bomb until you figure out enough to like get yourself in and out of situations. Like a couple weeks ago, and I feel like feel pretty good now. A couple weeks ago, we had a guy show up, and he was heckling so much, and I was hosting. So I bombed first, brought people up, they did well, and then in between I would do like little jokes. Those were bombing too, and I was like, what the hell? I can't get out of this hole. And it just happens, man. But like, seriously, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you do with shift heating and air. I know, second shift heating and air. I know for a while there you were doing classes, and we were talking. You're still doing like free, not for the competition, but free HVAC classes for people.
Yeah, and for the first month, I didn't care if it was competition that showed up. It was more my business partners that were like, hey, we kind of have to not have that.
Yeah.
But I see value in what I'm trying to teach people, and if they can do something for themselves cheaper, or their own family, or at least like down the road, if they don't get a job, don't take a career in it, at least they have some essential knowledge, and then they know the keywords to look out for if there's someone's trying to sell them stuff that they don't need. You know what I mean?
And I appreciate that about you. That's one thing I've seen you post a lot when you're talking about this. You'll be like, I don't want people to get oversold for something that's not necessarily true, because a lot of places, not all of them, and let's be real, like not everybody is like that. You do have some really great people out there, but also you can get some people that are just trying to like nickel and dime you. I had a family member recently had to call out somebody to look at like a sewage thing, and they were like, they were trying to sell him so much, and eventually he just was like, okay, and he called a different company. They came out, and it was just like a little blockage, and that was it. And they were trying to like run a line from the street to the house. Like, you're talking like $5,000 of work, and he ended up paying a guy like $200 to come out and do this.
Yeah, and that's why I started this. It was personal.
Yeah,
it was literally personal. Like, don't get me wrong. I want to sell people a new furnace. I do. I would love to sell a new furnace, but is that what's in their best interest every time? That's not up to me.
Yeah.
I just give you the facts, and then you decide what's best for you.
And if you build that relationship in the beginning, like let's say for me, you fixed the capacitor, right? I don't want to mess that. I said compressor last time. I was wrong.
That would be a bad problem.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but you, that would be the worst.
That'd be real bad.
But it was a capacitor, and I remember you telling me like what it was, and you're like, oh, this is kind of simple. I just swap it out, and then blah blah blah. I say blah blah blah, but that's like all the fine things that you do. But like when you do that, you create like a relationship with the person, and then like let's say my entire unit does go out, I'm gonna call you and be like, hey, I know this guy's he's going to treat me good. He's going to get me what I need.
Well, and if you think back to that moment, did we mention a preventative maintenance plan at all?
A little bit. No, yeah. I think we did. No,
I don't push them at all.
No, you don't.
So and there's a reason for that. That's like the business model that most of my industry takes, is like, we're out here, let's sell you a preventative maintenance plan.
Yeah.
And that raises your average ticket
Maybe it was
revenue.
The guy that like looked at something else that was trying to sell me that.
Don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, I'd like to sell you more stuff, but I just wait till it breaks. I don't tell my own family to do preventative maintenance, because there's just, if you're changing your filter.
Yeah, that's like the only thing I know about.
Maybe washing the condensing coil off outside. I mean, that's the extent of it.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I can count on one hand of the tens of thousands of maintenance calls I've ran where I'm like, oh, thank God I was there. Like I fixed something that, or I saved the day and solved something that was a problem. Like it's rare. It's mostly filler work.
Well, I wanted to do this. We talked a little bit about this before. Bell, do not tag the Chris that I know you're thinking of in the chat. I know where you're going with this. They're saying it'd be them Chris's, fuck Chris and all that, because that's one of my bits. They're goofing in the chat. What's up, Messy? How you doing? Talking about New York City. I'm kind of going back to see what everybody's talking about. I'm kind of we've been talking here, but one of the things I asked you, I didn't know if maybe you would give us a few tips on what, because we're getting ready to move from warm air. Like I don't know if you people know this, but we've moved from warm air all day to cold as fuck in the morning and then hot as fuck in the evening. So what are some good trips? Because we're getting ready to move from hot to cold permanently for a while.
Yeah, winter is coming.
Winter is coming. Coming. Jon Snow's here, dude. I didn't know that. Jon Snow. So give me a couple tips that you would give people.
There's really not a whole lot other than changing your filter. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
If you go into the season, change your filter. You should also be turning your system on. I mean, like, why would you wait till it's 30 degrees out to turn the furnace on for the first time? I always recommend my clients turn the furnace on during the summer.
Yeah.
Like once a month, get those bearings spinning on the inducer motor. Don't let it lock up. You know, just think of your car. If you had it sitting out in the front yard and you didn't start it for a year.
Oh, dude.
It might have a harder time starting than if you just went out there once a month and just cranked the motor over. Same deal with this.
Somebody's fucking around. He tagged a Chris. Sorry. Wanted to let you know he did end up tagging a Chris, and it wasn't the one I thought, so I'm a lot happier.
Yeah, I don't want the controversy.
Yeah, no more controversy, guys.
To mention something on that, I just did a job for him actually last week. I was
for
sick,
Chris.
And the Chris I think we're talking about. I don't know the controversy behind it. I just know that he wanted me to change the furnace and AC out.
And
I did it.
Perfect.
That was the extent of it.
Dude, if you're getting paid, I don't give. I love it. He said he's tagging every Chris he knows, but not that because he's not free. He's not friends with him. No. To me, there's no drama between us now. Like at least for me, from my end, I don't give a shit what anybody does. I just want people to be happy and do their thing, and that's kind of how I feel too. With most people, is like, we're all so busy in our lives all the time that it's hard to really like dwell on things at all. So once I get through it with somebody, I'm usually happy at the end of it because I'm like, we're good.
Yeah,
Bell,
short.
Be nice, Bell, in the chat. He's just being a little stinker today. That's what he's being. He's at work. He's bored out of his mind. I bet right now he's at work bored. Can you imagine that?
I can't though. That's the unfortunate part.
Oh,
like, I
man.
love what I do. I really do. Like, you give me $1 million tomorrow and be like, but the condition would, you just can't ever do heating and cooling again.
Yeah.
I'd probably have to turn it down.
Well, if they hit me up and said, "Would you ever want to do heating and cooling again?" or I would take it. Yeah. But if they said this, like, this might be hard to give up. I love doing this.
Like $5 million plus. All right,
we'll talk. We'll
talk. But
yeah. Imagine like you get $5 million plus, you buy a house, and your heating and air goes out. Now you have to call somebody else, even though you know what you're doing. No, you wouldn't be able to do it again. You're done. You're done.
You're right. That's the condition.
That's the condition.
Oh,
couldn't fix your own stuff anymore. That'd be hilarious. Maybe you could get somebody from one of the classes to do it for free. You're like, hey, I already showed you how to do some stuff.
That's been really good too, man. Those classes, people really get some value out of that. It's not just
where are you doing it at? Where are you doing them at?
The shop. Yeah. So we got a little workstation set up.
Perfect.
Air condensers and furnaces set out.
Yeah.
Go through the whole sequence of operation, take stuff apart. then just about cheeky little psychological stuff.
Yeah.
Like for example, if I knock on your door, you notice when I did it today. I knocked on your door, right? Do you see how I backed up a few steps?
Yeah, so you're not as threatening.
It's literally like an eye level thing. Exactly that. Like it's just a part of a cheeky little psychological trick. Being physically lower than people in eyesight elevation has a welcoming effect. This is your home, your domain.
So you're using you're literally out here like reading Psychological Today, getting tips and tricks to deal with people.
Well, there's value in that. I want people to be comfortable with what I'm bringing to the table, and if I'm up on their door and crowding it, I'm sure everyone that's watching this has had a mechanic or a repair guy show up to their house.
Or a random solicitor.
Yeah, and be right at the door. Like, you can't even open the door.
Yeah.
No one likes that.
It gets creepy real quick. You're right.
So you give people space, you know?
Yeah, that's smart. I remember reading one of those a while back, and it was like they did studies where if they put like a wallet or money somewhere where people could steal it, if they put a mirror or a reflective surface there, people would steal it less because they have to look at themselves when they steal. And it's like mentally you can see yourself doing something bad rather than just thinking about it.
That's interesting.
It's weird, right? It's a weird psychological thing where we're like, if we do something bad, then we want to be sneaky about it. But once we see ourselves being sneaky about it, we're like, ew, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
It's a funny one.
That's a neat one.
Thank you so much, Seth. We'll probably bring you back a little bit later in the segment because I got a couple people. We got a couple more guests coming, guys. So if you guys, first off, let me just say, let me get some high fives in the chat for Seth. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today for this night. We'll end up probably bringing him back at some point, but I got to go ahead and hit a couple people up. So first things first. If you guys like comedy, there is a show coming up this weekend in Dunkirk, Indiana. I know you're like, where is Dunkirk, Indiana? I said the same thing, but it's a night of comedy. Fat Cat Tattoo presents. It's going to be myself. It's going to be Brian Allen West Jr., Alexa Eden. If you were at our show this weekend, you would have seen Devon Shoemaker at Gas City. Jacob Harder and Alexa Eden were both at Harvest Fest. Brockton Miller actually was one of our feature comics for one of our shows. And then Dan West is your headliner. He's from Kokomo, Indiana. I am getting ready to be on the phone with a good buddy. We're getting ready to call Dan West right now, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about this weekend and what we can expect. So stay tuned with us for a minute while I get Dan on the line.
Hello, this is Dan.
What's up, Dan? How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm living the dream. How are you?
I'm doing great right now. We're live right now on the Kokomo Press page right now with my show Ultrajoyed. I was just telling the people about the show we have this weekend, a night of comedy presented by Fat Cat Tattoo, and you're going to be headlining. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's always a good night when I get to perform with my friends and also sleep in my own bed.
Yeah, you get to go there, perform it, because you've been road dogging it for a while. You've been like on the road.
Oh yeah, I mean next week I'm in Louisiana, so I'm all over the place, and I'm a big fan of getting to do a show with a good audience that also lets me, pet my dog at night and go to bed in my own bed.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense because you've talked about your dog a lot on stage. I don't know if you know that. You have brought your dog.
Listen,
up.
he's my sweet boy. He's my sweet boy.
All right, so we're gonna be in Dunkirk, Indiana. Have you ever been to Dunkirk, Indiana before?
I have not. I didn't know there was a Dunkirk, Indiana. When Jacob reached out to me, I thought we were going to be doing like a screening of the movie. I had no idea.
I made a joke, I think, where I was like, we're going to be storming Normandy in Dunkirk, Indiana. And then Matt Adams, a good friend of the show, was like, that happened like 2 years later. And I was like, I don't know what I'm talking about, bro. I connected the two because they're World War II, right? Am I crazy?
Listen, everybody loves when you fact check a joke. Like that's peak comedy.
You're absolutely right, man. I'm excited to go there because we've got a great lineup, man. We've got some comedians we've all kind of worked with. We've seen a lot of them over at the open mic. Have you ever worked with Brockton before? Brockton Miller?
Yeah, Brockton's good people. I met him before I moved away. He and Jacob have been working together for a long time, and some of the shows I've done for him have been amazing. One stands out for being less than amazing. Yeah. We were out in Hartford City, and it was a biker bar that found out there was going to be comedy when comedy started.
Oh, God.
They were not great.
They weren't ready for that at all.
No.
Well, the crazy thing is we had, I remember I did like a show one time of a benefit for a guy who was, and they knew it. So luckily they weren't so mad. And then one night, I think we were, one of the first times we ever did comedy on the patio, a bunch of bikers from the Hog Runners locally showed up to comedy on the patio, and they were awesome. And the next day, like I talked to a few of them. So I've had some pretty good experiences, but I couldn't imagine going into a biker bar and there's just some guys in there trying to drink and, throw darts, maybe play pool. I don't know what else bikers do. Go boom, 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 really loud with each other. Something like that. And all of a sudden they're like, now I got to listen to a comedian talk to me the whole time.
Yeah, like here's the thing. I did a show in Salem, Indiana at a biker bar, and it was fantastic because the people that were there showed up and were excited there was going to be comedy. This show, it was people in their regular bar on their regular Sunday night, because of course it was a Sunday.
Yeah.
And then it was, okay, so this guy's going to get up and talk about how much he hates his ex-wife for a while. Have fun, gang.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's the best part whenever you're like, you go to do jokes about something like specific and the crowd is like, has no Like, they have no connection to it. Anytime, it's like whenever I do, like you've seen me do the Caitlin Clark pick, whenever I do that and there's a crowd there that nobody likes basketball, I feel like I'm just staring into a wall. Like, oh, great.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's why they end up putting brick walls behind comedians, because that's what it feels like we're talking to most of the time.
You know, I never thought about that, but I will also say that it does make sense. It makes perfect sense.
Well, I'm excited to work. This will be the first like official show. I mean, it's in Dunkirk, Indiana. I'm very excited with Jacob and with Alexa and Devon. And I think Pierce got added another. I think we have so many comedians on the show, we might end up just calling it an open mic at this point. But I saw a couple more guys got added. A guy named Calvin Turner, who I met at Gas City, and then Pierce, who was originally on the show but then dropped off, and then he's back, and then he's going away, and he's back, and he's back, and it's like a prairie dog, like he's a prairie dog. He just keeps coming up and going away and coming up and going away. But I'm very excited to do this show. This is the first show we get to work together, like, and do a real like showcase, and not like an open mic, you know, because we do those a lot.
Yeah, it'll be the first show where like I'm not trying any new material at all. Like when I do your mic, I'll couch new stuff in with older stuff, or I'll tweak the way I do something. This is going to be a show where I walk in, people have paid to be there. You give them the best show that they can have versus practicing and trying new stuff. And it'll be fun to see you do the same, you know, get out there and do some A game.
Oh, you're going to hear the same shit I always do. I'm just kidding. We'll try. We'll see what happens. We'll see. I was working for those last showcases, so you probably heard most of my stuff. I've been adding some new things here and there, messing around. I know, I will say this, and we're on the phone with Dan West. Check up Dan West Comedy right now. He's going to be with me, Brian, Jacob Harder, and a bunch of our friends out in Dunkirk, Indiana. He's going to be headlining the show. The tickets are only $5. It's a really affordable show. So if you want to make the trip, go to Google Maps, look up Dunkirk, Indiana. I know you've never been there. Figure it out. Come out there, hang out with us. This is Dan West Comedy Online. Last week, when you came out to the mic, we had a really good mic. Like, we had a great group of people there. I really enjoyed it. But I will say, and I've seen you very funny. That last week, you had a different energy, like a really like aggressive energy about it. And I think like that was like the best I've ever seen you do. Like, you've done great every single time, but that was like the best I've ever seen of you. It felt like you were like in the pocket the whole time. How did you feel about your set last week?
I think it went really well. I used to do sort of the angry guy character when I was first starting, and I wasn't a good enough comedian to make it work, so it really did just seem like I wanted to fight people. So it's one of those things that I can't I think that energy would be exhausting for me and for the crowd if I was doing, 45 minutes. But for a shorter set, it does add sort of some fluidity and makes it really just feel authentic, even though I'm telling everybody right now that it is not.
Yeah, but I think when you get in the pocket like that and people can like hear you and like feel what you're actually doing, I don't know, there was just something about that energy and the type of material you were like hitting on that night that you got into a really good flow state. And I feel like everybody was like, whoa, man, he's killing up there. At the one point I thought you were actually mad. I think I came up to you at the show and I was like, hey man, did somebody piss you off? And you're like, oh no, I was just playing around. I'm like, damn, you were convincing. I might have to put you in the next we'll have to remove Meryl Streep and put you in there as the angry woman or angry man. Because you know what? You were so believable.
It was fun. Like I like changing it up, doing different stuff. Like when you're doing club stuff, and I've done more club stuff recently, likability is important. But when you go on the road, sort of that raw energy is what they want. So it was nice to be able to bring that here.
Yeah, I really appreciated it. And like I said, it really hit home for a lot of us because, we are from Kokomo, Indiana, and a lot of times we want to be angry. We're angry.
You mean like when I told the entire room full of people they were cowards that weren't going to do anything?
Yeah. That's why I think that might have been the part where I was like, is he upset? Did somebody say, do I have to talk to somebody about what they did? It's like, did somebody piss him off? Well, that's the thing about like doing comedy in general is like comedians get real comfortable real quick and they think they can say anything to each other, and sometimes they do strike a nerve. Like I've talked to friends about it before, and like it's happened a lot where I remember one time I was on stage and the nicest guy in the world, I'm just gonna say his name, Randy Maurer Randy Maurer.
Randy's delightful.
He's a grade school principal, I think, in Eastern Elementary.
Yes.
Great guy. He went on stage and he did like this joke where it was like obviously the rule of 3, and he was like, this guy looks like this, and then this guy looks like this, and then he just said my name and was like, and he looks like a cum dumpster for everybody, and I was like, what the fuck?
I've never heard him say those words. My God.
I know it was something along the lines of that. I might be taking a little bit of artistic liberty, but it was very much like he gets used by comedians in the bed. I don't know. It was something like that. It was like a very Randy way of saying it, and he's a very nice guy. He's actually Kokomo's funniest comedian. That's official. And
that is true.
That is true, and he did win, and he won fair and square, which I appreciate that from you guys, especially from you, because I know you would run a good ship over there. But I'm very excited to work with you this weekend. I know you're literally right now over at Cook McDougal's, right?
Yeah, my trivia night starts at 7, so I hopped out here into the nice little alleyway that I took my engagement photos in for a wedding that didn't happen.
Oh, God. Well, I'm happy this live happened then, because that would have been awkward if you'd have been standing out there and I never called you.
This would be a cursed alleyway if the call hadn't come through.
That's awesome. No, but that's perfect. If you guys aren't doing anything after this, you start at that around 7 p.m., 7:30. What is it, 7 p.m.?
We say 7 o'clock. It's comedy time. We start at 7:15.
I like that. We're always on comedy time. We know what comedy time is. We've been around long enough to know. We start when we feel like it.
Exactly. Yeah. So tonight's theme is horror movies, because we're in the spooky season.
The spoopy.
Got one question about hit 90s, early 2000s film Swim Fan.
Okay. Yeah, that's a nice one. Especially there's a certain scene in it, right? There's one.
Listen, that's the only scene that I've watched, and I did watch it on repeat when I was 16 with my dial-up internet.
Yeah, my mom had one of those, and I can say it now because the statute of limitation is expired, but my mom had one of those cheater boxes. You remember those things? Like, we used to have one of those. And I remember when, I know this is like a sidebar, but I remember when American Pie, the first one, came out, dude, and that scene with Elisha Douche, I can't even say her name. It's something.
Shannon Elizabeth.
Shannon, that's who it is. I always want to say Elisha. She's the one from Bring It On. She's hot too. But yeah, Shannon
Elizabeth. She was
Elizabeth.
in The New Guy and also Buffy. I mean, I don't know what.
Yeah, what? What are you talking about? I definitely wasn't following her on social media. No, Shannon Doherty, or not? Now I'm saying Shannon Doherty. It's Shannon Elizabeth. I don't know what I'm talking about. Can I get girls who were hot in the 90s, early 2000s for $500? That's what I'm doing right now. Or I should just say, Dan, you're the one doing the trivia tonight. If you guys are having fun right now, finish this live and go over to Cook McDougal's and hang out with Dan and maybe have a good time doing some trivia, man. I appreciate you doing this for me tonight and coming on the live here and telling people about our show. It's $5 in Dunkirk, Indiana. One last time, Dan West, tell the people where to find you.
Yeah, all of my socials are at Dan West Comedy. Right now I'm doing a big daily push on TikTok to try to become a guest on the Basement Yard podcast, because those are some also very funny guys, but I've got content just about everywhere. So yeah. Also, I will be at the open mic tomorrow, so you can come see me there. Yeah, come see him there, but you're not going to see him as good as you are in Dunkirk, so you got to make the trek there, people. So make the trek to Dunkirk and hang out with us, because we're going to have a good time out there. I appreciate you coming on the show here, Dan. Have a great time out there doing trivia. Hopefully it's super spooky out there, man. Thank you so much. All right. I'll see you tomorrow, buddy. Take care.
Bye. All right, that was Dan West. Like I said, you can see him at Fat Cat Tattoo Presents Night of Comedy, or if you're like, I can't make it out there, I guess you can come out to our open mic tomorrow. It's Thursdays. Come out. It starts at 7 p.m., but the comedy starts at 8 p.m. You guys, we have so much comments. There's a lot of comments in the chat. I'm sorry if I missed you guys, but we have a lot of guests on today. We're having a good time. I actually, believe it or not, I still have my good buddy Seth here in the room. Say hi, Seth. Let people know. Yeah, it's second shift. He's hanging out with me in the studio. I'm like, hey, man, we got a couple people we got to talk to. But have you ever seen Dan West do comedy?
No, dude, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Dude, Dan West is really, really funny, dude. He, like I said, last week he did like a set that that energy, man, like he just was in a pocket. He's one of those guys. He's on the road throughout the week. He has the type of job where he just works like on the internet, like a computer job. I don't know.
That's living the dream, kind of.
Yeah, I live in the dream
and being on the computer.
Yeah. So he's out there doing that and doing. I think he's a social media manager, which even more like that's a pretty cool job. But he does that throughout the week, and then he does spots. So he's gonna send it. He said he's gonna be in Louisiana this next week. Jesus.
Yeah, that's a little ways. I mean,
yeah. He's gonna have some Cajun food or something.
Cajun food's good.
Yeah, some New Orleans. You think maybe he'll get some beads? Come back. If he comes back with some beads, I know he's shown his titties off. That's all I'm gonna say.
You got to get the turtle soup.
The turtle soup? Have you had that?
Soup. Oh, yeah.
Is it good?
So, oh, yeah. So there's one thing I wanted to mention about turtles.
Yeah. Tell me.
So you know how you see the commercials where they're taking the bag off the choking turtle? And I've always wondered, like, how do we know that these turtles aren't just into that?
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean?
It's like a kink.
Yeah, like they're like, every time we pull the bag off, they're like, no, daddy. You know, like, they're just into it.
Are we kink shaming turtles?
I think so. I think they get themselves into it. They want that. You know, how do we know they're just the kinkiest animal on earth?
Are turtles reptiles or amphibians?
I don't know.
They're one of those, right?
They're terrible.
I'm weird when it comes to. I think the reason why I won't eat gator or toad or frogs or any of that stuff is because, like, you ever smelled them in an aquarium? That to me, you can't get that out of your. I can't get that out of my mental image if I go to eat like a turtle.
Dirty swamp animal, you know?
Yeah,
we don't need to eat that.
I mean, if I had to, if it was like the amphibians, okay, Jordan Bell knows. He knows a little bit of social media. Could you imagine getting paid for that, Jordan, one day? Oh, God. Jordan Bell and I, at one point, were talking about starting a social media management agency, but then, we went back to our lives at the factory, at the puzzle factory, as he likes to say. We work at the puzzle factory. We don't work at the puzzle factory. We work at the puzzle factory. We don't work at the puzzle factory.
I mean, it's a good money from what I hear. So
yeah, I mean, we do what we have to make things work. All right, I got one more guest for you guys. I'm going to bring him in here. Thank you, Seth, again, man, hanging out and goofing with me. I got one more guest I got to bring in here. I got to find him on here. So give me 1 second here, and then I'll be right back with you guys. I don't know why I did it this way. Actually, let me go ahead and I'm going to throw this to a commercial so you people enjoy this commercial. This is going to be a special announcement from our good friends at, it's called the Kokomo Press Shop. Check it out. Exciting things are happening at the Kokomo Press. Yeah, very exciting things. Not only are we bringing you comedy shows, an open mic once a week, skits, videos, funny jokes on our page, and satire news stories, but now you can support us by going to kokomopress.shop. It's that simple. You go to kokomopress.shop, you find a t-shirt, you find a hat, maybe in the future some stickers and some posters. You go on there, you buy one of those from us, and percentage of the proceeds will go to us and help support what we do. We appreciate every person who just likes, subscribes, does all that. But if you go to kokomopress.shop and you buy something, we'll know who you are. You send us a photo of it. We will post it on our page and shout it out. Thank you so much. Go to kokomopress.shop, buy all your shirts and hats needs, and support the Kokomo Press. Thank you guys so much. kokomopress.shop. My bad there. The volume is low on that. I'm going to try to fix that for the future if I could ever figure out how to do it. The next person we're going to talk to is a buddy of mine. He has a show coming up I think it's Friday, September 20th. Is that Friday? I'm terrible at days. I want to make sure I don't say this wrong. Yeah, okay. It's tomorrow's 19th. Okay, yeah, I'm crazy. This Friday, Kaleb Sample, a.k.a. OddUnique, is going to be downtown at Cooper's Pub for a show. It's going to be hosted by DJ Larry, the producer. If you know anything about him, you know it's going to be a quality show with him at the helm. He's going to be on the ones and twos. You're going to have Stevie Rain. You're going to have you know what? I'm just going to let him tell us. Like, why am I doing this when I can just bring the man himself on? He knows what we're talking about. This is the thing. So it's September 20th. It's a $5 to get in. It's not. Go pay for it. Check it out. I will tell you personally, I've seen OddUnique. He is going to kill. Two White's a good friend of the show. He's going to kill. But let me go ahead and bring in. I'm going to go ahead and give a phone call to Kaleb. But right now, we're going to talk to him on this. All right. Sorry if this is a little loud, people. Hello.
Hey, man. What's up, brother?
What's up? How you doing? On the phone right now, we have Kaleb Sample, a.k.a. OddUnique. How you doing today?
Hey, man. I'm doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
Hanging out. I saw you in the chat. You're messing around with the people, goofing off. Tell me a little bit about this show you guys have coming up this Friday at Cooper's Pub.
Hey, man. So I had happened to do a show at the Owl House grand opening, and Jackie had seen me, and Jackie reached out to me and was like, hey, I'd really like for you to do a show. And I had already had major interest in doing one at Cooper's anyways. So I got a bunch of some guys from Kokomo and one artist that I had met at Larry's open mic from Indy, all coming together on Friday to show some people some different forms of hip hop.
I like that. So I personally was at the show at the Outhouse Records, the first show. I was actually hosting that. I don't know if you remember me seeing. I got stone cold stunned by Brian Allen West. It was not very nice of him. I guess I didn't. Sharkeisha did, but the same concept. Same concept. So I'm excited to know that I'm excited to hear that Jackie and you linked up for this at Cooper's Pub. So you've got E-Rock, you've got Too White, who I know Too White. He actually was on the first episode of the show. We premiered his music video. Very good stuff. You said you got a guy from Indy. Do you know his name? I'm trying to look it up right now.
Yes. So Stevie Rain is his name.
Okay.
And then we have the BDR. That's my brother.
Yeah, I met him. He's great. I like him a lot.
Yeah, and NAF AP, which is another. He's a local. Yeah, he's a local guy, and he makes some different forms of hip hop, man. And I'm I'm kind of glad to be able to kind of get a bunch of people together in a community and build something where we can kind of showcase what everybody here thinks is good art.
Yeah, I'm excited. Honestly, I'll keep it 1,000 with people. I saw you at the Outhouse Record Store's grand opening, and I was in the backstage because we had just done the hosting. I went back there and I was like, I can't stay back here. I have to go watch what this guy's doing. I could just feel like the energy was palpable. So I kept opening that little curtain and coming out. I took some videos of you and everything, and I was like, man, you have such a powerful stage presence, man. I really hope that people understand that. I mean, $5 to come see, I don't know, 6-7 acts here. You guys have a nice group here, man.
Yeah, no, it was definitely, and I definitely appreciate that compliment, man. It's definitely something that not only myself, but I feel like every artist that I reached out to, I feel like they do the same thing. I feel like they work hard for their craft and they put a lot into their art, and so I'm excited for everybody to kind of be able to get a chance to do their thing. This Cooper show, everybody's getting a 20-minute set, and there's a few artists that are doing some all new songs there, I hear. So definitely be a chance. I definitely think $5 is a steal for sure.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a steal to me. I mean, with as many acts as you have, the show, I'm excited. I think it'd be worth it just to come see you and Too White, and those are the two guys I know, and the BDR. I really enjoyed him. You guys did a song together on stage, right, at the Outhouse Records grand opening. Yeah. I really enjoyed him as well.
We have a couple songs together, so it would definitely, and I definitely think with us being brothers, it's kind of easier to connect on just where we want to go. We've kind of grown up to each other, and it's nice to have music is kind of something that we've been able to bond over, so it's kind of nice to be able to show that to people. That's
awesome. I like to hear that, especially because I mean, you're talking about a family that raps together, stays together. That's what I've always heard, something like that. I'm just kidding.
Sure.
The BDR, Ricky Sample Ward, he's actually in the chat right now, so if you guys haven't heard of him, go check him out. I am actually really excited. My plan is to be out there. I want to check it out. Kokomo Press is very interested in the show, and then on top of that, I really would like to see the BDR because we were having a little bit of mic issues that night, and we could barely hear the guy when he was doing it. So I really want to hear him do his thing without any technical difficulties. And I know that was the first night Outhouse was open. That won't happen again. But I know with Larry, the producer, you guys are going to have a solid foundation for stuff. And you used to do stuff with him when he was working at another place. I don't want to mention the place because it doesn't exist anymore. Now it's a Mexican restaurant, and it used to be a strip club.
Yeah, when Larry was doing his open mic, man, he I don't know, he really showed. I don't know. I just like him. I like his ability to do things on the fly. And just I've over the last year, I've really been able to bond with him, and he's definitely my go-to DJ.
Yeah, we had him at the open mic one week. I think it's the first week we saw you there, and you've kind of been a staple there for a while, which I appreciate that about you. And if you guys want to hear something crazy, you did comedy a couple weeks ago.
I did try it out, man. I've always had a love for comedy, and I've always been a fan Like I love like Anthony Jeselnik and like I love like John Mulaney and I love like a Bo Burnham. I've always been like a real big kind of so I just not it's just something that I think I just wanted to have better like almost like you're saying stage presence. I wanted to have better host presence. I wanted to be able to talk to people in between acts and feel more natural about it. And I feel like comedy's a good way to kind of feel that way.
Yeah, I do feel that's what I tell people a lot of times when I do like on stage work for like comedy. But they're like, "Man, you just seem like you're so comfortable up there." And I'm like, "That's because I've done music, and as a fellow person who does music, you kind of just get used to being on stage. But there is a different feel when you're like on stage and you don't have a backing track, you don't have a band, you don't have music, and you're just standing there to dead air, and you're got people like beady eyes staring at you, waiting for you to say something. And they're like, let's see." It's almost like they're looking at you like, "Oh, you think you're funny? Prove it." And the whole time you're sitting up there like flop sweating, like, "Oh my God, is this real? Is this happening?" How did you feel your first time? Like, how did you feel as far as like that difference in the air and the way the feeling of being on stage is?
I definitely I wasn't necessarily nervous being up there. Kind of like you said, I'm not really nervous to be on stage. And it was kind of one of those things where I had to feel like I had to really feel the pacing of the joke is the rhythm of how you're going to get people. Yeah. And so like I definitely want to try it again. And I definitely loved it, man. I thought it was fun. Yeah, I thought it was nice to be able to get up there and kind of tell somewhat of my true experiences and make light of it for everybody to kind of just enjoy themselves.
I'm going to give you a little bit of a heckle from me. You only did like 3 minutes. You're supposed to do 5. What are you doing up there only doing 3 minutes? How dare you?
I was just going for solid.
Yeah, you're like, let me just get up there and say some funny things and then get off as quickly as possible. Pause.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I think Jordan Bell said Kaleb filled in for me, which that was one of your jokes, which was hilarious. And then I'm going to sing at the next open mic, and he's going to pull out some Whitney. Jordan Bell, if you come and do Whitney Houston, we're going to get everybody running as quick as they can to the exits. Don't you dare do that to those poor people. Don't you dare do that to those poor people.
He said, Whitney, let her rest. Let her rest,
dude. I said, the only thing you and Whitney have in common is that her and your dad had the same affinity for drugs. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Actually, it's more of one of these. That's more of one. Let's be honest. Like, that's a sad thing to say. I shouldn't even make that joke. He said thank you for the pause because he loves when I say pause after I say something like coming all over my face or something. I don't know. You know, it used to be no homo when we were younger, you know, and now it's pause.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which I appreciate that. I appreciate pause being the word because it's a lot more family friendly, you know?
Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah, I was going to say it's a lot more polite. It seems more appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. But at least, you know, the other way when we said it, you know, we were very clear about, listen, I'm still straight, I swear. It was like overly straight. Now we're just like, pause on that.
Yeah.
He said
I can still be gay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just pausing it.
Yeah, that's it. You got Seth laughing over here in the studio. He thought that was funny. That's a good joke. Yeah, I can still be gay and say something gay, but not mean it gay. You know what I mean? We excluded them. That was the problem. We excluded them, right? Seth, like, we completely excluded them. He said, now it's no Diddy. Well, that's also one. Like, we know that. I mean, the Diddy thing,
but
that was a wild story.
Or no Drake.
Yeah, or no Drake. Yeah, well, that's if you're like with a young kid. But I did see this Diddy. Jordan Bell sent me this Diddy photo. I don't know if you can see it right now, but it's Diddy, and there's just baby oil behind him. I heard there was like so much baby oil. Did you hear about that as well?
Yeah, they found like 1,000 bottles of baby oil or something nuts.
I wonder if that's
insane.
Real. I wonder if that's real or if it's just an internet fake thing. You know?
The court documents will cut. They raided his house again and expected. I don't know. That's nuts.
Oh shit! Jordan Bell made that. I didn't know he actually made that graphic. So I'm just stealing his graphic and putting it up. Sorry, Bell. I didn't mean to. I thought you found it. I mean, it's a good graphic. It looks solid to me, dude.
Right. Now you're beefing again.
I know. We're right back to beefing. Thanks a lot. Well, Kaleb, thank you for coming on the show, man. One more time, tell people where to find your music too, because I want them to find you.
OddUnique on YouTube right now, soon to be all platforms, but you can check out Amorphous, which is my latest project where I will continuously be adding things over time. And Yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys this Friday at Cooper's Pub at
one more
9
time.
p.m.
9 p.m. Cooper's Pub. That's this Friday, September 20th. Cooper's Pub presents OddUnique, the BDR, E-Rock, NAF AP, Stevie Rain, 2 White. It's only $5, and it's going to be hosted by Larry, the producer.
Absolutely. Hey, Jordan, thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for hanging out, man. Appreciate you for coming on. Talk to you soon.
Yep, you too, man.
Later, bro. Yeah, guys, that was OddUnique, Kaleb Sample. Go check him out on all things social media. Go give him a follow. And if you've got time on Friday night and you're like, hey, I really want to do something, I will personally attest that I've seen the guy do music. I've seen him on stage. You are going to want to see him. You're going to want to see Larry the producer. You're going to want to see 2 White. You're going to want to see Stevie Rain, NAF AP, E-Rock, the BDR. That's a great group, and it's all going down at Cooper's Pub, which is one of my favorite places to go. Everybody knows that. We do our open mic every week there on Thursdays, and you can come out there tomorrow. It's going to be an absolutely free show, and if you tell them, hey, I'm here for the comedy, and you're there at 7 p.m., guess what? Appetizers are half off. And if you decide to do comedy, like if you want to be part of the comedy experience, that's perfectly okay. Guess what? If you do comedy, you get 1 free drink if it's your first time. So that's pretty cool to go in there, get a free drink if you do your first time there. I know they didn't do that when you're there. I'm sorry, Seth.
What the hell?
I know, dude. Well, we didn't know what we were having yet. You know what I mean? I want to give a shout out to Dan West for coming on the show. I want to give a shout out to OddUnique, aka Kaleb Sample, for hanging on the show and plugging their stuff today. In studio right here, my bro right here, Seth Gerbs. He's a huge supporter of us. Always has helped us out over time. He's done a million things with us. We're gonna have him on the podcast soon. So if you guys want to hear some more of the guy, just comment below and say we want more Seth. We want more Seth because we're gonna put him on the show more. Check him out. Check out Second Shift Heating and Air. It's the same as the plumbing page. They're the same. They've combined forces. They used to be separate. They were families, but they were separate, but they were still family. Now they put it together. And not only does the family that raps together stay together, but the family that works for Second Shift together stays together, right?
Plumbing and HVAC and all day long.
I've always said, man, why aren't they together? Why aren't plumbing and HVAC together? And you guys finally got the band back together.
They belong together, man.
They belong. We belong together.
There's a whole song about it.
Yeah, Jordan Bell said, give me more Gerbs. Hey, Zach Pierre, what are you doing, brother? You just met us at the end, but we've got a lot going on. I do want to throw out a couple more things. I do have one more quick word from our brother, everybody's brother, that's what I like to say, Hypocrisy Jones, about a show he has coming up soon. So check this out.
Yo, what is up out there? My name's Hypocrisy Jones from the In Your House podcast in the Kokomo Press, bro, and I'm here to tell you about a party, bro. November 30th in Kokomo, Indiana. It's going down at Outhouse Records as the In Your House Wrestling Podcast hosts a live house party, bro. This is to celebrate and watch WWE Survivor Series War Games, and bro, we're about to make it lit. This is going to be the best wrestling party that you have ever been a part of in your life, bro. We're going to have wrestling games. We're going to have wrestling karaoke, wrestling themed costume contests. Bro, we're going to have prizes to give away, over $1,000 worth of them. Bro, it's about to be lit. Kokomo, Indiana, November 30th, Outhouse Records. Be there for the party, bro.
Hey guys, so that was a quick word from Hypocrisy Jones. If you're excited about wrestling, if you're a huge wrestling fan, or if you just want to hang out and do a fun show with the homies, check out the Survivor Series War Games house party. It's live music. It's a live podcast. Independent wrestlers will be there. Wrestling costume contest, games, prizes, tons of prizes. It says games, it says prizes, and it says tons of prizes. He wants you to know there's prizes and there's tons of prizes. It's November 30th. You got a couple months to plan. Outhouse Records. That's 109 East Sycamore Street in downtown Kokomo. That's from 4 p.m. to midnight. That's going to be a long show. Come hang out. Over $1,000 in prizes to be raffled. And here's the kicker. It's an all-age event. There's a ton of donating sponsors. We've got Kim the Chemist. I can't read them all here, but we got Wrestle Arts. We got my buddy Brent, does my hair. He does my hair. He makes me look beautiful. We've got Kokomo Toys and Collectibles, Cooper's Pub, House of Heat. Some of these I can't read. I'm sorry, Jordan. But there's some wrestling podcasts and a lot of things on here. So please go look at this. Click on it. Go closer and stuff. You can see it. It's only $5 admissions, and there's a raffle event. So check if you like wrestling, or if you used to like wrestling. It doesn't matter. matter. Check it out. It's going to be November 30th. You got a couple of months to plan it out. Make sure you come hang out. It's from 4 to midnight at Outhouse Records downtown with, Hypocrisy Jones and the Concept Alcon House. And you're going to have the voice, Joshua Joseph. I don't know everybody. I think there's a guy named Grunt. I'm not very good at everybody's names. They've added so many people. There's a girl, I think, named Annie. She seems really great. They have a great group. You might see Paragon. I don't know if he's going to be there, but they have a great group over there at the In Your House podcast and the In Your House page. Go follow them to stay up to date on the house party. It is coming up very soon at Outhouse Records. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. I want to one more shout out to our guests, Dan West, Kaleb Sample, aka OddUnique, and my buddy right here. Yeah. Oh, let me turn this on for you.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Seth, for hanging out with us, man. I had a great time with you, brother. This has been Ultrajoyed on the Kokomo Press. If you enjoyed the show, please share with all your friends. Let them know every Wednesday at 6 p.m. And if you want to support me in some way besides just sharing and helping me out, Brian Allen West will be the host. I did not realize Brian Allen West will be the host. That's amazing. Brian Allen West will be hosting the house party. So check it out. I might show up. I haven't been invited yet. I'm just kidding. I'm invited. I'm on the fucking flyer because that's a Kokomo Press. I'll be there in some capacity. Maybe I'll come ruin it for everybody. I'll be the heel of the show. Since they didn't invite me to the show, I'll be the heel. I'll come through. I'm just kidding. Thank you guys so much to all my guests. Thank you guys for hanging out today. This has been Ultrajoyed, the Kokomo Press. We love you. Thank you so much. And we out.